What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? The UFC has had a lot of hot prospects recently. Paddy the Baddy, the British phenom, Sean O'Malley, who's done pretty well for himself and is now fighting for the belt, Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's now in the welterweight rankings, Ian Gary, who's also in the rankings now, Ilia Topuria, who's arguably now the number one contender at featherweight, just to name a few. But nobody has the hype of Khamzat Chimaev. But Bo Nickal ain't that far, delivering the same type of fight. And we have the chance to see them both compete in the same division, middleweight. Even though Khamzat has mainly fought at welterweight, we've seen how his fight goes. Domination. Except maybe the Gilbert one, but he was acting up. The same can be said of Bo Nickal though, finishing fighters without breaking a single sweat. But now that Khamzat has officially moved up, there was expectations of him against the top middleweight. Rumors of him against maybe Whitaker or even Paulo Costa at one point, but now seems like it's gonna be Usman or Cannonier. He might be fighting Francis Ngannou for all I know. But if it's really Cannonier or Whitaker and he goes past them, that's a direct shot at the champion, Israel Adesanya. And that would be perfect, because Bo Nickal recently said that the goal is to fight Khamzat for the belt in one of the biggest fights in the UFC history. But Nickal still has to fight upper-ranked fighter to get his name up there, contrary of Khamzat. Nobody is doubting the skill. The ranking is the only thing missing. The two of them are accomplished wrestlers and grapplers, but Bo Nickal is something else, being deemed as one of the greatest wrestlers alive, 3 times NCAA champion and 4-time finalist, and more recently shown off crazy striking too. Like, what can't he do? But Khamzat has been knocking people clean out. It seems like a match made in heaven between two of the most dominant fighters in the division. It's also one of the first time that we would see a fight between the highest level of that Dagestani Russian part of the world school and the pinnacle of American wrestling. And this fight taking place for the biggest prize in the sport, the UFC belt, would almost be poetic. I would love the press conference too. Khamzat has always been known to have a loud mouth, and Bo Nickal would definitely say a speech out there too. I could see this fight happening in the next 2 years, once both fighters are at the top of the division. Bo is most likely going to be fighting ranked opponents next, as he clearly showed his dominance over people his level. Maybe Khamzat is already champion, since he's maybe 1 or 2 fights away from the title shot, and Bo would be his first title defense. This is probably what the UFC is waiting for, and I can't wait to see it.